Welcome back, everyone. NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining me to this new episode of Music with Nick. Today, I have the pleasure of doing another marathon for BMAC. He is back. BMAC back with a B. Yeah, we're gonna do some progressive, instrumental progressive rock, and I'm super excited because as you already know BMAC's taste, and so I'm super excited. So we're gonna do some basically all of this I've never heard before, so I'm very excited, and I love instrumental music. I just did a marathon right now before, and it was partly instrumental. It was just, I had like the best time ever, and it was just amazing. So I'm sure this one will be amazing as well. So I wanted to say, of course, thank you, BMAC. Thanks everyone for being here, for sharing this space, and for enjoying this music, even though we do miss Alexia in most of the videos, but today we released some music together, and we try to at least have one NicknLex video every day for you guys, and those, like the videos that we did, like the ones that are not being requested as well, like the Michael Jackson one, the Prince one, and Angelina Jordan. I get to sit down Alexia for a couple of minutes, and she loves it, but yeah, I mean, she just can't do it as often as I can, and even I'm like, sometimes a little bit like it's a lot. Okay, but without further ado, let's get into the list. Again, thank you so much for being here, guys, and let me know if you enjoy in the comment section. Like the video if you like it, subscribe if you enjoy the content. So here we go. The first song is going to be Nightmare by Anthony Phillips. I've never heard of him. Harvest of the Heart and Anthology. That's the first song we're going to listen to. Then we're going to move it on to Rick van der Linden. I've never heard of them either. This is a song called Gaillarde Part 1 and Part 2. And Gare le Corbeau. So, you'll see it on the list. If I'm pronouncing this, I don't speak French. This is from the album Trance from 1974. So Rick van der Linden. So I don't know, maybe he's Dutch, but it could be, I don't think, because if he was German, it would be von and was the van. Then we're gonna, so this is a epic of about 12 minutes. And then we're gonna do Greenslade, Spirit of the Dance. This is Spyglass Guest. Let's see, this is from 1974 as well. And this is also, and then I'll add something to it. All right. All right. Well, thank you again for being here. Let's get started. Give me just one momento. All right. So prepare yourselves for a bunch of air guitar and air bass and air drumming, because it's instrumental, prog. So I'm not just gonna sit here, like I'm gonna get active. Gotta move, move along with the rhythm. All right, so here we go with Nightmares. Thank you so much again, BMAC, for this. And thank you also for waiting. We did have a wedding. We'll talk about it. It was amazing. I couldn't have, my God, it was just such a wonderful moment and event in my life. I will never forget it. And I had no clue. But yeah, that's the kind of wife that I have. She's just amazing. So here we go with Nightmare, and this is an epic, almost 8 minutes. Here we go. Anthony Phillips. Okay, let's just talk about this intro for a second. This was very cool, very cinematic, very like the beautiful way of converting a lick into an arpeggio, and the chord progressions are very nice. It was very eventful while still being, I don't know, it had like this, almost like this very cinematic aspect to it, like really cool. The like, I don't know, like I've heard this like with Alan Parsons, they do this. Definitely Prog, very, very interesting, very beautiful, like choices of chords and the arpeggios that go along with those chords, BMAC knows all about this. He's a bass player. So just the sheer, the composition and the chords, very, very nice. And as an opener, very cool. This is so cool. And I looked it up. It's from 1979. It reminds me a lot of, this is what Dream Theater sounds like today, like because of bands like this, because of musicians like this, when they were pushing the envelope, with music. This is very, very good. Like, I love it. It has like this, but it reminded me also, like I used to have, I owned like this amazing CD, which I'll always cherish and I always play, Mike Oldfield. And he plays like this. This is like maybe not as intense. Mike Oldfield is a little bit, is not, I mean, I only know one album. Like, what am I talking about? He has like, I don't know, 50. But the one that I had, the Tubular Bells, that, sorry, had a little bit of a, flavor like this. It's like, I don't know, it was just very beautiful music, but also proggy and also very cinematic, just like this. So this is right up my alley. Thank you so much, BMAC. It's awesome. Beautiful. Wow. Now I wish I had nightmares like that. Yeah, this, like, I wish I had nightmares like this. If they would sound like this, oof. Yeah, I love the cover. Beautiful bass playing here. I mean, I can see why BMAC loves this. I'm so happy right now because we got blessed, you know, with Matt. Matt is the fiance of Alexia's sister Fernanda, and he is well, I'm not gonna share too much, but he is also a bass player. You know, I'm not gonna like say. I just like to keep things private, but he's also an amazing, accomplished bass player, and I just like I love. I've never had a bass player in the family, and he's now part of the family, and every time we get together now, from now on, we're gonna, you know, jam and stuff. And we played at the wedding, and we had never played together, and he brought his bass like from literally through 3 states, you know, like it was just a deer. And I love this man. He's very talented as well. He is literally a bass player, not a guitar player who also plays bass. No, he plays bass, and he's good. And we had just such a good time. And we only had literally like 1-2 hours to literally, you know, look over the songs, and it was so good. I mean, it was so great to play. And also this, we've now been friends, Andres and I had him on the channel. We listened to some Muse together. What if Metallica played Muse, and he played the drums that evening, and it was just amazing. Also a good old friend from 20 years ago, Avelino. Man, it was so special at the wedding to get together and jam and play, and it was just fantastic. So just wanted to get that out of the way real quick, because that made me very, very happy. And that was another thing that Alexa just like put together. I knew that Matt played the bass, but not the way he does, and it's very good, and everybody was just so professional. Okay, so but yeah, this song was truly, it was beautiful. I love all the psychedelics, you know, it had so many moods, and beautiful. I'm keeping this on my radar for sure. Anthony Phillips. So I looked him up, and he's in his 70s now, and awesome. It says rock, progressive rock, folk rock, neoclassical, dark wave, even country. I mean, the man does it all. Wonderful. What? Oh God, he was in Genesis. He was the lead guitar player of Genesis. Oh God, I'm so happy I mentioned that. From 67 to 70. And then he left in July 1970 and learned to play more instruments before he began a solo career. Wow. Shh. Well, I'm happy that I mentioned that, because I would have gotten my butt whooped by the comment section. Like, don't you know that he's the guitar player from Genesis? Okay, so Rick van der Linden is next, and this is a 3-parter. So this is gonna be pretty long. So let's go. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna go back into the solo, but yeah, this is so he's from Dutch. He is from the Netherlands. He is Dutch. And he's obviously a lot of inspiration from Johann Sebastian Bach. You can hear it, you know, the pedal notes. So that's basically the music that I grew up with. And when I first like started playing guitar, that's just the only scales that I knew. Like I was like, isn't that something? Like, because my mom used to play so much classical music, so I started to figure out before I even knew the blues scale or the pentatonic scale. I was playing like that kind of stuff because I had memorized it. Like I've said before, we used to play these games, like my mom and I, to whistle. Who can whistle more complex? So I was whistling arpeggios and scales, and I didn't even know what I was whistling, but I was learning it, and then I applied it to the guitar. So I was pretty much playing a lot of, you know, harmonic minor, melodic minor scales before I even knew what that was. It was just that's what I liked. I loved the Baroque sound of Bach, and, you know, and also like Mozart and all this stuff, but more Bach was played a lot. And since my mom also played piano and my grandma played piano, she was actually a pianist, a professional, like, you know, she knew, like, she played Chopin, and so, and my mom played violin, and everything she played was also classical. So this is like the music that I got introduced with as a baby, you know. So very, very, of course, I love this stuff, you know. That's why I was also such a big fan of Yngwie Malmsteen, because he played that on the guitar at 1,000 miles per hour, you know, like these licks, you know. So yeah, so let's go back into the solo. All right. Wow, that was amazing. But I do have to draw some comparisons with Deep Purple here, like Child in Time. 1970. This is 1974. I mean, we all get inspired by by other sounds and things, and that had a lot of. I was thinking like, wow, the way he's like soloing right now, it doesn't even remind me so much of um uh Keith Emerson. It reminds me more of John Lord. I think it's his name is the and then he did a doodly 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 doodly, and he didn't do the same, but it sounded very Deep Purple-ish because of the same reason. Deep Purple, like John Lord, like that's what he uses. That's his, he uses a lot of classical, neoclassical sounding, scales and but wonderful. I can't even say this guy's. I don't know if he's better. I mean, I don't know. Like, at this level, you can't really say who's better there. Everybody's so good. And, John Lord is just such a legend. So, I don't know. But I mean, then again, like people like Jens Johansson or Derek Sherinian from Dream Theater, like, I'm sorry, but they just play just impossible stuff. And then you have Jordan Rudess, and then you have like, I mean, it gets more complex, more and more complex. Yeah, but this is awesome. This is really cool. I can't wait to see how this continues. Like, I mean, how can he make this more crazier? But this is part 1. Let's continue. like that bass solo, that's how you get, you know, people like Cliff Burton, you know, that's why we have bands that play bass solos, you know, in the 80s. I mean, Cliff Burton was especially amazing, like after all this, you know, um I mean, all the bass players in the 70s were all kind of like not just playing the no, they were like, you know, over the fretboard. So that was amazing. That bass solo, very, very cool. And very fusion, you know, very, very good. I love it. This whole like movement here, this whole like composition is really, really cool. Really interesting. A lot of, it reminds me a little bit of ELP, you know, because it is so, it is more, Emerson, Lake and Palmer has a lot of jazz and classical music combined to make this prog, progressive rock, but they do borrow elements of jazz and classical music to make it more interesting, not just, the first part was more classical and then the second was more jazzy. Let's see how this ends. Okay, so I know he's very distracting, but I know how much BMAC loves Marley, and he's being a good boy, right, Marmar? So I just brought him up real quick. He was waiting. I think you saw him when he came in, and he's just being a little boy and down here, you know, waiting, I guess, for me to get up and give him a treat or take him for a walk. But he's such a good man. And he smelled so good. This dog, we've literally debated if he's actually a dog, because he doesn't smell like a dog. He doesn't smell like an animal. He smells like a human. He also like auto cleans himself. We never, like, we bathe him. Of course, we take him, like I bathe him. But if you bathe him like once a month, he will smell like that for a month. He is like the cleanest dog I've ever had. And I've had hundreds of dogs when we had dogs in Mexico. They all smell like dogs, but he doesn't. How do you do it, sir? Can you explain to us how you do it? Anything to say to the microphone? To BMAC? He'd be like, hi. Like he always talks. Okay. All right. All right, let's continue, because I know, like, if I keep, I'm sorry about that. If I keep him on my lap, then people are going to be like, hey, your dog is very distracting. I understand. I get it. Okay, let's continue. Let's go back a little bit, because this, it seems like a long outro. Wow, this guy, like, again, you know, it was very Baroque inspired neoclassical. And again, you know, there was this I don't know why he does it and why he puts so much emphasis. God damn it. So much attention towards that lick, because it sounds literally like the end from Child in Time. But hey, it doesn't matter. And just the whole thing sounded super freaking amazing. Wait, I mean, as a whole, if you would tell me you want to listen to this or Child in Time, I would probably go with this, honestly. But it's just, you know, it's just that one damn comparison that I'd have to make. Otherwise, it would just be quiet, you know? So, oh, give me a second. Okay, give me just 1 second. I just got something work related that I have to solve. All right, so excuse me, I'm sorry about that, but something came up and I had to deal with it. Okay, so next one is Greenslade, Spirit of the Dance, and this is the last song we're gonna do, and then knowing me, I'm gonna add something. So here we go. So I've never heard this either, but this was just, so far this marathon is freaking amazing. So here we go with Spirit of the Dance. This is so freaking good. Like, I'm so happy BMAC, you know, is doing these marathons. Like, holy moly. I really missed, you know, listening to more prog. You know, not that the other selections are not good. They're amazing. All you guys' selections are literally so good, because I'm learning so much. And when we do southern rock, when we do pop, it's always the best of the best. So, but I did miss a little bit, because this is just the music that I kind of like. I grew up with classical music. I that's what I started with on guitar, classical guitar. Then I started playing heavy metal with classical elements, you know, like Ingrid Malmsteen. So my soloing was always around those scales, you know. So it's just like something that is so close to me that I did miss it. So I'm happy that because it would be kind of weird if all of you guys would just like be requesting, you know, neoclassical progressive rock, you know, that then it would of course be kind of like, you know, but so I'm kind of like happy that BMAC was like, well, you know, this is what they, you know, what everybody else is requesting. I'm going to request something way, you know, more out there. And it's maybe it's not going to get as many views, but I hope it will. You know, I hope there's people that like this. It is the, you know, it's a gamble because I decided to make a little Alan Holdsworth video with that amazing drummer that was doing the Vinny Colaiuta, and we like the channel literally lost subscribers. so you see, which is kind of funny because every video tells you how many people watch it, how many people subscribe because of the video, how many people unsubscribe, you know. So it's interesting what people like. Even a musician as amazing as Alan Holdsworth, some people don't like it, you know. Maybe they signed up when we did the Madonna video, so I get it, you know. But I'm happy that he's back and requesting, and I hope more of you guys will follow, you know. Not with exactly this music, but you know what I mean, you know. But yeah, this is really good. And what I love about the thing about classical music, it's very predictable because you have to go with the harmony, and you kind of like have to stick to certain rules. Otherwise, it wouldn't be, you know, it wouldn't be the classical music. It has rules. I guess where the music goes, you can't just play like a diminished scale suddenly. Or something, you know, because then it would sound kind of weird. But what I love about this here, that I've been thrown off a couple of times. I didn't expect that kind of like them to play what they're playing, because it is, of course, to be broken in prog rock, you know. You don't have to follow the rules, so, but you know what I'm talking about, you know. So let's just continue. I love this. There we go. Like for example here, the like that's like sometimes these patterns where you know that just has to go this way, otherwise it would sound weird. And what I love about this band here, that they kind of like throw you a curveball and they're like you know, they just unexpectedly add a time signature or take one. There was little like this little like beats that was a little bit more, and you know, and then they change it up. It's really, really good. I love this. Very, very interesting. And let's keep going. So good. Totally turned from the neoclassical into like a fusion fest. It was jazzy. I love that flute. I love the bass. Just that's just a band I want to follow, you know. And they're unfortunately a 70s band from England, and they didn't, I guess, didn't last. Okay, 2021. Okay, let me check. Are they still together? Because it says the band. Oh, they made their debut in Germany. Frankfurt's Zoom Club. But let's see. Simon Phillips on the drums. Again, Simon Phillips, is he so good? Well, it looks like they're still playing, you know. I mean, okay, so they're doing live albums. But no, they did release 23 years ago, Large Attention in 2000, but they were on a hiatus for 15 years. Oh wait, no, 25 years. I love it. It's such a great band. What a great sound. Super cool. Okay, so I decided we're gonna play, you know, we need to add some Warner Brothers just so if they decide to block. And then sometimes the thing is this, let me just explain this to BMAC. There's some artists that have independent labels that nobody knows. Those songs are fine. Those songs don't even get recognized sometimes by Google. But if I have 3 songs, like this happened with Happy Roads. So all of her catalog was like, hey, put my stuff on YouTube. I'm making money because you're making a video about my music. So we're going to share, right? So all the views that video gets shared. Now, the problem is that since I'm doing a marathon of different record companies, if one record company says, hey, take the music and you're going to get, you know, it's going to be monetized. If the other video, if the other company says, no, you can't monetize, then the whole marathon is demonetized. So that's usually what happens literally 98% of the time. But it's even worse because if there is 4 songs of a record company that says, hey, you know, go ahead. And then there's one song by UMG that blocks the song, the whole marathon is blocked, even though the other 4 songs were like, hey, you know, play me. I'm making money off of this. So you always have to have a song by a company who basically supports this, which is Warner Brothers. So basically, let's see, if I have Anthony Phillips, right? And he says, hey, play my music. Okay. And then I have Rick van der Linden. Hey, play my music. And Greenslade says, wait a minute. This is like, I'm under Universal contract. And then they block the marathons. Then basically we're done. We can't put it. I have to put it on Patreon. So that's why I've made sure that I've always want to include at least one song by Warner Brothers in the marathon, because that's going to be the song where I write Warner Brothers and say, hey, I have this file of music on my channel. Can I use this? And then they say yes. And basically the craziness of this is if one studio says you're allowed to play this, then it gets unblocked. They basically get in touch with YouTube and say, this file, this video of NicknLex has a song from our company in it, and we want it visible. That decision overrides all the other decisions, the blocked ones. So I know this sounds crazy, but that's why I'm pushing Warner Brothers so much, because they basically have the power to say, you want this blocked? Well, I say unblock it. And then if one party says unblock it, then YouTube says, I mean, for them it's good. They want to have their stuff visible. They don't want blocked videos. So if one party says unblock it it gets unblocked. So that's why I've decided to play the purple, because they're under Warner. And there's all these different companies under Warner. There's Elektra, there's Atlantic, there's Roadrunner. There's like, I mean, I'm literally learning them by memory now. Because so I can check when I'm on Spotify. It says on the bottom, it says the year and the company. That's, for example, if you look Deep Purple from the album Burn, which is awesome because I just saw Glenn Hughes, and he sings backing vocals on this. So it says here Warner Records. Okay, so we're good. So if we play this, if they block the marathon, then this song is gonna be the saving stone. So I told I told BMAC, hey, if I do something extra, let's do something by Warner, and he suggested 3 songs. I'm gonna choose this one, which is Deep Purple, the album Burn 74, and this is the song called A200. So here we go. So John Lord, I hope. Wow, this sounds so different than the usual Deep Purple, but I love this. I love all the different lineups, and I love to learn them. I still don't really know. There's like, I think this is the 3rd lineup. Because basically we have the person that's missing here is Roger on the bass, and Ian, let's see, the original singer, Ian Gillan. Yeah. Gillan. Yeah. So Roger Glover is missing here, and Ian Gillan. So this is the 2nd lineup. Yeah. And then after that was, I think, Dio. And, but yeah, that's so crazy because like, the vocalist on here, and I know this is an instrumental, but I mean, this is what they were playing when we saw, when we went to see Glenn Hughes. They played Mistreated. They played, actually they did play Burn, and they also played Child in Time, because he has an amazing voice. Like, he can sing so high. I don't know if he was actually doing it. If not, I don't care. It just sounded amazing. But yeah, this is great because this sounds way more trippier. This sounds more like Iron Butterfly, or the stuff that we're listening to, you know, like progressive, like keyboard music. Oh, so good. Really cool solo by Richie Blackmore. I told you that story, right, about Richie Blackmore, and my dad, and like I was being held by Richie Blackmore, but I guess he is like not like the kindest guy, and I guess that's kind of like a sad thing. He just has an attitude, you know, and that's just the way he is. But yeah, uh, I'm reading here about it. As a result, he's a fluent German speaker. Yeah. Um. Yeah, I would like to see like Richie Blackmore speaking German. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, so because it's I've seen some videos where really like he hides behind the amp and he kind of like leaves the stage and he only comes out to solo, and it's like, why, you know, why do all this BS, you know, and criticizes other guitar players who are clearly better. You know, it's just like I hate that rock star prima donna stuff, you know. But I mean, it's just, I guess it's part of the whole thing. But I mean, then again, there's other guitar players who are super nice and they're legends, you know. So it's just, it's the personality of each individual. This was a great marathon. Thank you so much, BMAC. I had so much fun. I knew when this started that it was going to be amazing. Thank you so much for being back and you know, making requests. Of course, it does help out tremendously. And thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Maybe you discovered a new band tonight while watching this. I hope you did. I hope you had fun, and let's create a discussion on the comment section. Thank you again. I'll see you guys in the next video.